Happy Friday! Woo! Happy Friday. Friday, June 26th. Extremely excited to have everybody here. Good morning, family. Glad to have you. Very happy that it's Friday. In case I didn't mention that, it is Friday, and I'm excited about that. We're going to get started. You know the housekeeping rules. We talk about them every day. I think we're on like week, 1300. So you know the drill by now. Chat your comments in. YouTube Live, chat your comments in. Julia will pull those over after the fact. Auxiliary.uga.edu, and then the Auxiliary Connections tab, and the survey feedback link. I was looking at that information, or looking at the feedback this morning. So y'all have been sending some really good feedback, and we appreciate that. So with no further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. This morning, Chef Steve from the commissary is going to be presenting. He said chicken, so no cows today. Sorry for all of those that enjoyed the cow last week, or week before last, whenever it was. The days are running together, weeks are running together, but we're doing chicken this morning. So take it away, Steve.
Morning. How is everybody? I am also happy it is Friday. Last week we did beef. This week we're going to do chicken. I think you guys are really going to like this presentation. I hope you do. I had a lot of fun making it. If I can share my screen, we're just going to get right into it. I want to keep it light and fun today. So there's going to be some fun videos. Not a whole lot of serious information. Let's get to it. We are, fingers crossed, no freezing this time. Last week we did beef. Today's chicken. So with chicken, we're a lot more familiar with the pieces. It's, you know, with beef, we've got the short loin, the chuck, the brisket. It's a little bit more difficult to identify where those parts are coming from. But with chicken, we've got a breast, we've got a wing, we got a drum. We're all really familiar with that. So we don't have to spend a ton of time on that. So we just get into fun facts about chicken. There are more chickens on Earth than people. 25 billion chickens. That's 5.5 chickens for every person. A lot of chickens. Speaking of a lot of chicken, Chick-fil-A at UGA sells 1,000 chicken sandwiches per day. Thank you, Chris Render, for giving me that stat. It's 3 cases of raw chicken for sandwiches and 3 cases of grilled chicken. They prep up every day. That's 100 pounds of chicken per day at just Chick-fil-A. I thought this was really cool. The color of an egg, whether it's a brown egg or a white egg, depends on the color of a chicken's earlobes. So if the chicken has a red earlobe, the egg is brown. Chicken has a white earlobe, it's white. So be thinking about that when you're trying to decide whether or not you're going to buy brown eggs or white eggs. They're virtually identical. There's no difference. It's just a skin tone. Nutritionally, they're the same too. The record for the most egg yolks in one egg is 9 yolks. I can't even imagine what that looks like, having 9 little yolks in one egg. When I was a breakfast cook in high school, it was an open kitchen, and people would sit at the bar, and we would try to get all flashy with cracking eggs with one hand. And if we got a twin, it was like winning the lottery. You know, you got a double yolk. It was like, woo, we got double yolk. I can't imagine if we cracked one and had 9. I think somebody might have lost it. all the chicken that we purchase at UGA Dining is locally sourced. So we buy all of our chicken from a smaller, by comparison, family-run food supplier named Sutherland's, and they purchase all of their chicken mostly from Georgia, perhaps maybe some from Alabama or maybe some from South Carolina, but all of our chicken is local. You know, when buying local is kind of like this big trend, but for people in Georgia, people have been buying local for as long as most people can remember. You know, there's farm stands on the side of the road. Buying local is just kind of what we do here in Georgia. I don't know how to navigate to the next slide. It doesn't happen somehow. I'm just gonna keep hitting buttons and eventually it's gonna get there. There it is. All right, so this is the first video that we're gonna watch today. There's that saying, there's many ways to skin a goat. Well, there's a lot of ways to break down a whole chicken. So I'm going to show you some different chefs and different techniques for breaking down chicken. Here's the first one. This is Jacques Pépin.
Steve, I believe that we may have missed the share computer audio button when you were sharing your screen because we can't hear the video.
Okay, hold on, let me pause. Pause the video here.
Yeah, when you click share screen, it's going to be there's a checkbox on the bottom left that says share computer audio.
Okay, I think I did it. Let's start this video over. Is that working now?
Yes, thank you.
If you want to cut that chicken for a stew in different type of piece, first you remove the leg. The first mistake is that people leave the leg here, try to cut. No, put it, use the weight of the chicken. Look, I cut just the skin here, and that's it, I don't have to worry. I am at the oyster. Now, this is the oyster. I cut the oyster. Now I stop again the bone. Second mistake, people extend the leg and try to crack it open. Doesn't work. Bring that leg back up. This is perpendicular to this. Grab it at the knee, crack it open. Cut through the sinew, there is a large sinew, and pull out. Again, as I said, you cut skin all around the oyster, crack it open, cut through the sinew, pull out. Now I'm cutting you the chicken without the carcass here. Leave it on the side. There is the joint at the articulation here that I know is somewhere here. I will cut at that joint, looking for it, and I'll cut a piece of the breast here. Grab it here, again, hold the knife, hold the thing with my knife, and I cut that breast here. Same thing on the other side. Hold it this way. And finally, I have the sternum here. I could have cut that directly here and have two pieces. Often we do it in three. And here I just remove the sternum. That is that central we call the brechet in French. which is that piece of white meat on top here. Conventionally, the leg will be broken, cut into two pieces, drumstick, the thigh. If I do a stew, I will cut the end of this so that shrink as it cooked, look like a little ham. Here. And that's it. So I'm going to have breast, the other breast, the brochet, two, the thigh, the other thigh, and the drumstick here, sticking in, and this one here. And this would be the proper way doing a chicken to saute. And of course, don't discard the carcass. All of that goes in your freezer for the stock pot.
So I really like that video just because it's a unique way to cut that chicken, where you have the two airline breasts and whatever French word he said for that middle piece. I thought that was kind of cool. That's why I wanted to share that one. All right, more fun facts about chicken. Chickens can taste saltiness, but they can't taste sweet. I thought this was a unique fact because I happen to know some chickens, and all of the chickens that I know are pretty salty. they are not always the nicest. They like to peck at my little boy. Oh, that one's not for yet. Georgia is the #1 producer of broilers. We're going to talk a little bit later about what a broiler is. But for now, you should just know that we produce 1.36 billion heads of chicken. That's per year. I guess that was a stat from 2018. And we learned earlier that there's 25 billion chickens in the world living at any one time. So that means 5.5% of the world's chickens are living here in Georgia. So total combined, the sales is $4.57 billion, which accounts for 50% of all the commodities that are grown in Georgia. This is kind of cool. The longest recorded flight by a chicken lasted for 13 seconds at a total distance of 301 feet. So that means a chicken can hit a triple in 13 seconds. So last year, thanks Chef Jorge for getting this to me at the last minute. We purchased $800,000 worth of chicken last year. That's a lot of chicken eaten by our students and staff. What I thought was interesting with the info that Jorge sent is that 25% of that total dollar amount was just chicken wings, which is surprising, but not. This is an actual true fact. In Gainesville, Florida, you have to eat fried chicken with your bare hands. Eating it by any other method is illegal. This is true. It really happened. I guess in the 60s, Gainesville was trying to establish themselves as the chicken capital of the South. And so they created this law as a publicity stunt. And they kind of revived it more recently. They arrested a 91-year-old woman and made it a big show, and it was on TV. She went into court, all that, but it was just a joke, just a publicity stunt. What I think is cool about this is next time you're down at the Georgia-Florida game, just out of spite, break the law, use a fork, use a knife, and eat some chicken. All right, we're gonna do this slide thing again where I don't know how to get it to the next one. We're just gonna keep hitting buttons until it works. There it is. All right. as promised, another chef demo. This one's short, but it's cute. You'll like it.
Sharpen the knife. Crucial.
Oh, here we go. Here you go.
First off, most widely known. Let's go for the wing, shall we? Feel the knuckle. Slice down. 2 wings. That is beautiful. Now, drums, thighs, little insert, and then pop out that joint.
Oh, savage.
Use the tip of the knife, come in the joint, and slice through.
Wow.
From there, feel where the knuckle is and slice through. 1 drum, 1 thigh, same again, and off. From there, feel where the breastbone is, and cut in to the carcass, feel the wishbone, and go through, staying tight to the carcass. We don't want to leave any meat on there. Breast 1.
Beautiful.
And again, clean off with the breast. 2 wings, 2 drums, 2 thighs, and 2 breasts. But under here,
Oysters.
these are the chicken oysters, one of the most sought after parts. Each thigh underneath and slice through. 2 beautiful oysters. And the carcass with very little chicken left on it.
So you heard 2 chefs just talk about a chicken oyster. What the heck is a chicken oyster? Well, all the chefs and prize cooks know that that is the best part of the whole chicken. We call it our little treat. Oftentimes, you don't get it. Chicken oysters are 2 mini oyster-shaped portions of dark meat. They're found on either side of the whole backbone. It's right next to that little piece, right next to the thigh. They're tender, they're delicious, and oftentimes overlooked. Most commercial cutters actually leave them right on the carcass. So if you buy oftentimes if you buy a leg quarter at the grocery store, it's not going to have it on there. So what can you do with a chicken oyster? You can just eat it straight. You can just cook it on there. But one preparation that's amazing is that if you marinate these guys, now mind you, there's only 2 in a whole chicken, so you're only going to get 2. But if you marinate them in any kind of a vinegary or acidic marinade, and then wrap them in bacon and bake them, they are a delicious treat. If you've ever seen the movie Amelie, there's a great scene in it. I'm going to play it for you that illustrates the kind of romantic nature of the chicken oyster.
Eh bien non, pas du tout. Aujourd'hui, j'étais né Dominique Breteau, 27 rue Mouffetard. C'est pour vous. Ce matin, comme tous les mardis matins, Dominique Breteau est parti pour acheter un poulet fermier. En général, il le fait au four avec des pommes sautées. Après en avoir découpé les cuisses, les blancs et les ailes, son plus grand plaisir sera de décortiquer la carcasse encore brûlante avec les doigts, en commençant par les solilaises.
So now you know the secret, the chef's secret, the cook's secret. Now you know. Okay, navigation problems again. I think it's this. This is like the magic slide right here. This is the one where it's going to go. All right, we'll do it this way. All right. This video is going to show you several different ways that you can break down a chicken. It's one of my favorite blogs that I turn to a lot. Kenji Lopez and Serious Eats. It's kind of a combo of food science and So the chicken lollipop is a kind of a cool thing. We actually did a catered event one time some years ago where we had that as a feature, and people tend to like that. My sous chef Kevin is telling me that the video is coming through kind of choppy, so apologies for that. I'll try to work on making that better next time. Okay, so let's get into some let's talk about poultry in general, not just chicken, but we'll get into some of the other types of poultry. How they classify chicken is usually by weight and age. So we mentioned that Georgia is the #1 producer of broilers, and those chickens are 4 to 6 weeks. They are typically 1 to 3 pounds. You can broil them, you can grill them, you can saute them. Of course, you can fry them too. Your fryers, what they call fryers, are 3.5 to 4 pounds. They're 6 to 10 weeks old. Obviously, you can fry them, you can roast them, you can grill them, you can saute them. Our roasters are your larger chickens. Those are the 7 to 9 pounders. Typically, you roast those whole. The weight of chickens has really grown over time. Everyone is familiar with those giant chicken breasts that they sell at Sam's Clubs. They're huge. Those are probably coming from a roaster. The Cornish hen is young, small chickens. I've heard that the actual breed of Cornish hen is kind of out of fashion. That what you typically see as a Cornish hen now is just a really young chicken, less than 2 pounds. You can roast them whole. You can split them and spatchcock them, like they did in that last video. Now your turkeys, I guess most people don't know this, or maybe I just didn't know it, but your 8 to 20 pound turkeys are your hen turkeys, the female turkey. And the big turkeys, those big Thanksgiving over 20 pound, 25 pound turkeys are actually male turkeys. I did not know that. I learned that. Something new. Now your duck, ducks are actually ducklings. They're young. Your broilers are less than 8 weeks old. They weigh 4 to 6 pounds. You can roast them, you can saute them, or you can turn them into confit. Confit is one of the prized dishes, I think, that every chef I know loves to confit. When you confit, typically with a duck, you would confit the leg. And the technique is you render out the fat from the leg, score it on the outside, render down the fat, and then you slowly cook the leg meat with the bone in its own fat. What it produces is sort of like a pulled meat, like pulled chicken in tenderness. It's tender, it's fatty, it's delicious. I don't know if it's healthy. It's probably not healthy, but it is good. Your roaster duckling is less than 12 weeks. They're 6 to 8 pounds. Typically, they're roasted. You've got goose. Yeah, people don't eat goose as much as they used to, I think. It's tough to find. They can weigh anywhere from 8 to 16 pounds. You can roast them. What you do hear a lot of people talk about is foie gras. I could do an entire 1 hour video on foie, but I'm just going to mention that it's a goose liver. It is humane. The way they overstuff that goose liver, we could talk more about that in the questions later. The last 4, squab, pigeon, quail, and pheasant, are most well known with your uncle that hunts. These are not typically found in grocery stores. You'll find them in fine dining menus. But if you're a hunter, you're with pigeon, quail, and pheasant for sure. In the bottom right corner, what you see there is a braised pheasant with mushrooms. A great dish. My uncle that hunts. I don't know if you got an uncle that hunts, but I do. All right. Last video. It might not be the last video. I think it's the last video. Hopefully this one isn't as choppy. Since we're talking about other types of poultry, I thought it would be good to show you the proper way to carve a turkey.
Hello everyone, my name is Brendan Walsh. I'm the Dean of Culinary Education at the Culinary Institute of America, and I'm here to help you today to carve your turkey for Thanksgiving. This bird here was roasted and allowed to rest for at least 30 minutes. That keeps it from, when you carve it, from all the juices running away from you. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to show you just simply how to take a whole bird and break it down so that you can carve it quickly and efficiently after you've allowed it to rest for a little bit. We see that we have the 2 legs on the side, and we have this little separation mark here, which are where the joints are. And here is the breast. So this is the prime meat, what they would say. And what we're trying to do when we carve it is keep all of this crispy skin on this bird as best that we possibly can. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by going right to these joints and working our sharp knife down the skin on both sides of those joints. And what you'll see, you're going to pull back slightly. And as you pull back on the bird, you're going to see there's a natural separation here which guides you along this process, okay? So you just run your knife, and what you're going to do is you're going to expose the joint that is right here, and you're able to just push up on that joint, and you'll expose it and run your knife around it, and now you have the leg off. So simple and ready to go. Now what I do is I take and I look at this, and there's a little trick that chefs like to use where they take out the back and they remove the wishbone. But when you're in the kitchen and you're trying to serve your family, it's just as easy for you just to go right down. This is the keel bone. Run your knife down the keel bone, slightly separating with your thumb. Just move your thumb and start looking at where the breast and the keel bone are, and running your knife along that breastbone and along the backbone, which is the little wishbone, which some chefs remove ahead of time. So I'm going to take this breast off nice and clean, keeping the skin intact, and running it right down to, I see again the joint where the wing is, and here I have the breast removed. And I left these wings on because it stabilizes the bird when you're carving it. So it acts like a little kind of anchor to keep the bird from moving around when you're cutting and it becoming a little bit dangerous. So now I have the wings. Some people like to eat them. There's a natural separation that occurs where the joints are. You can see it. And you take the wing. Generally we use these for stocks. And then I know my kids love to eat these, so we put those on the table and they munch away at them. So it's cooked so well that really if you just tug on it a little bit, you can see where the joints are, and it's very easy just to put your knife right in there and to cut that out. So now this is going to become your turkey stock. And also, I don't take that little wing out because I'm in the kitchen doing all the work, so I take this nice chunk of meat that comes off of where the wishbone is, and you eat it. Delicious. So we'll take a leg, and if we look at it from this side, if you try to cut it from this side, it'd be very difficult to know where that joint is. So what chefs do is they turn it over, and you'll see there's a natural little separation. There's like a little line that shows you where that joint separation is. You just bend it back a little bit, you'll see it. Your knife goes through it really simply. There's your drumstick, and there's your thigh, which is a beautiful cut, which everybody loves because it has that little bit extra fat in there. And what I'm going to do is run my knife from one side of the bone to the other side of the bone, just gently removing that bone to make it boneless. There we go. That comes out. All this is going to be a great stock, which is going to be a great soup. And now let's take the breast and show you how to slice it up. So now that you have this all set up, it's simply the grain of the meat goes this way, so you want to slice against the grain, which makes it a little bit more tender, and you just cut even slices, trying to keep that skin on there as best you possibly can and keep it as crisp as possible. So once this is all done and you're concerned, well, is my meat going to be hot enough when it gets to the table? Well, the beauty of this is you could pop this into the oven just for a minute or two. Just put it in a hot oven for a minute or two, and what'll happen is you'll warm it up just enough and you won't make it dry. The thing about dry turkey is, it was what I was talking to you about earlier, where if you don't allow the bird to rest, all that moisture just runs off all over on your cutting board. I'm sure you've all experienced that. So what you want to do is make sure the bird rests, and if you'll notice, my board isn't saturated with liquid because I've allowed that bird to rest. And then you have this beautiful breast all sliced, ready to go. You want to warm it up a little bit, you just pop it in the oven real quick right before you serve it. Now you don't have that fear, which many people do, is that I made this beautiful bird, but it's ice cold when it gets to the table. Now on the thigh, you've boned it out, so now you can just slice, nice slices. You're all set. And you'll end up with this beautiful display of dark meat, drumstick, and breast, which is going to be served hot, beautifully moist, and ready to go for your Thanksgiving meal. Again, I'm Brendan Walsh from Culinary Institute of America, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
So this is, I think the last slide I've got, and I wanted to talk a little bit about chicken plumping. This is going to be my my little political piece to it. You'll notice in the grocery store when you go to buy your chicken, there's going to be a little thing on the label, and it's going to talk about how much retained water or how much salt solution is in your chicken. So if you buy the cheap chicken, you'll notice the big packs at Kroger. I think of these big packs of like chicken thighs that are like $8. And you get like 12 chicken thighs in it. If you look at the label closely, you're going to see that it's got anywhere between 10 to 20% of a added salt solution. It's essentially marinated in that salt solution. Now, when the industry started doing this, as with a lot of other food and processed products, they removed the fat. And so when you remove the fat from like, let's say a Triscuit, you have to add something to, a Triscuit is a bad example. Let's say an Oreo cookie. If you remove the fat, you have to add more sugar or more salt. Well, in the case of chicken, the breast or the leg is so big, they've bred it to be so big that the ratio of fat to protein is much, there's more protein and less fat. So in order to prevent that chicken from drying out, they add and pump in that salt solution. So when you buy that cheap chicken, that $6 pack of chicken, you're really actually paying close to $1 or $1.50 per pound of that is that salt solution. If it has that 10 to 20%, and Catherine can probably correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it could be up to half of your sodium intake for the entire day. So my recommendation is don't go for the cheap chicken, but look for the chicken that has less than 2% of added water. Oh, I do have one more video. Couldn't do an episode on chicken without covering fried chicken. This is one from Tasty. that creamy chicken cordon bleu is definitely a must make. I'm definitely gonna make that tonight. At the end of the last video, I wanted to give a homework assignment, but since the video kind of failed on me, I didn't get a chance to do it. So this time we're definitely have a homework assignment, obviously optional if you want to. You've seen several different ways to break down a whole chicken. It's very economical to buy a whole chicken versus buying parts. And then you get the backbone and you get those wings to make your stock. Usually there's a neck, chicken neck in there too, and you can save that. So your homework assignment, buy chicken, see if you can get that oyster out, and save your bones, because later on we'll do a video on making stock. So save those bones, put them in the freezer. That's all I got for today, y'all.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Were those videos real choppy?
Yeah, that's okay. We can talk about that before the next session.
Good.
Okay, so we had a couple of questions. Let me, biscuits, where'd my chat go? There they are. Okay. The comment about the ear lobes on the chicken and that was really funny. I got some cute comments in return. But what about the ones that are blue and green?
Are there blue and green earlobe chickens?
No, blue and green eggs.
I guess those usually come from heritage breed chickens, don't they? So a different breed of chicken, I would just say I would count that to a different like skin color, like eye color.
All right. Just in case anybody missed it, Krista's volunteering to help break down chickens before regular shift starts. So hit Krista up for some of that. The recipes, Paul's asking, will the recipes be available for later viewing? Steve, do you have if you can send the links to those particular videos? I'm sure we can.
Yeah.
Make that available.
Is there one in particular or just all of them?
It just said these recipes, so I don't know specifically.
Maybe that tasty video.
Yeah, Katrina said, thanks, you just made us hungry. Chris Ingmanson, I wondered if you were going to, Chris. In the back of my mind, I was like, okay, is she not? But she said extra credit assignment, use a food thermometer to check the doneness of your chicken. Make sure you hit at least 165. All right, so Jay said, one of my chickens has a blue-green hue to its legs, supposed to lay colored eggs. Okay. Sterica, don't go to the grocery store hungry, though. You said you're hungry now and have to go grocery shopping. Don't go to the grocery store hungry. That's a bad decision. Trust me. Take my word for it. And let's see. Yes, Jean, dipping them in dye does change the color of the eggs. That's definitely it. Okay, so are there any other questions about breaking down this chicken? If so, throw them in really quickly. Otherwise, if we're done with questions, thank you, Steve, for presenting today. We have an important important announcement from Robert Holden. If he is here, we will let him. Sorry. Oh, there he is. All right, take it away, Robert.
Well, I wasn't expecting to have you pass this on to me, but if you did notice, there was an announcement that just went out, and I want to share with everybody that I have been working with my wife for the past year or so. She wanted me to retire last July. We've had some things that we've been working on and looking at. I kept pushing her off, but I finally did give in, and we are looking at retirement at the end of July. So appreciate everybody that we've had a chance to work with. We have an incredible team, and wasn't really expecting, Catherine, for you to turn this over, but you know,
Neither was I, but that's what happens when Randolph has your cell phone number and he sends you a message and says, put Robert on. You can thank him later.
I will. And I really did want to make sure that I can connect with people, because the people are the core of what we do. And we've had such an incredible team. And, you know, what we've been able to look at even during this summer and this change is how we still remain connected, and better connected in some cases than we had before. It's been an honor to work with everybody here. We have just incredible people, and we've done amazing things over the past 6 years. And I know that we will continue to do amazing things. So I am retiring at the end of July. After turning in my retirement paperwork, after talking about it with Ryan and all, I was offered another position, which I did actually accept as well, which is the Associate Vice Chancellor at the University of California, Riverside, which is actually closer to where we have family on the West Coast. And we've lost family members over the past several years, and we have one parent left between my wife and I, and so we're trying to stay closer to her. And that's part of the precipice for what we're doing and why we're looking at a change. But I really do appreciate everybody and all the people that I've had a chance to work with here. And hopefully I'll get a chance to see you guys before I leave. But thank you so much for a great time here at the university, and for a great part of the team. So thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Now I'm in my feelings. This afternoon, oh, sorry. You will be very missed, Robert. You've helped the division out immensely, and I will miss you. I'm not going to speak for anybody else. They can speak for themselves. This afternoon, we have a fire. Listen to me. I can't even get my brain working. This afternoon's open mic Friday. Open mic Friday is going to be fun. This afternoon, we're going to have another, like we did if you joined us on, I think it was Tuesday. On Tuesday, we did the last minute trial run, if you will, of splitting out into breakout rooms and having a closer knit conversations, smaller groups, and we're doing that again today. So we look forward to everybody joining us at 2 for that. Be patient with us. We're still getting the whole breakout room process down just right, but we look forward to seeing everybody then. And now I'm getting another message. Let's see, and Brett is going to get put on the spot. So Brett, are you there? Oh goodness. Hang on. Sorry, everybody. Randolph, you're unmuted.
You got me, Catherine. I wasn't expecting this either, so Randolph and Catherine are really putting us on the spot this morning.
Don't put no, Catherine. I get the message from my boss that says put Brett on the spot or put Robert on, and I do, and then yeah, don't blame the messenger.
Hey, I learned the pot stirring from somebody else, so hey, just stir in the pot.
Well, I just want to, I guess I'll just take a minute then and say I am with you all and congratulating Robert and just thanking him honestly for all that he's done for us. He's done for all of us, but for me especially has been an amazing mentor, has helped prepare me for, I guess, the role that I'll take on in the interim. As he walks away, I'll step in and take on that interim role, and couldn't do it without the lessons that I've learned from him and the things that he's taught me. So he will be missed extraordinarily. But thank goodness I have his cell phone number, guys. And I will say this, we are going to continue to think bigger. We're going to continue to put people first. The things that we've started are just the beginning, and I really, really look forward to being able to continue all of those things with you. Anything else you need, Randolph?
Just thinking that, like, I just gonna say, okay, Randolph, take it away, because I don't know what you're fixing to throw our way.
Listen, so we are doing we had a plan for our open mic this afternoon, and we were going to talk a little bit about learning and development and splitting into the room with 4 different folks. But guess what, y'all? Open mic is open mic. We're being very flexible. So we're inviting you to open mic. I've been texting with Robert, so I'm going to put him on the spot as well. We're inviting him and Brett to open mic if their schedules can allow. And I know this 10 a.m. session is a brief one. So if you have some parting words you want to say to Robert or some words of encouragement to Brett, join us at 2 o'clock. We're going to open the mics up, and we will just, as a family, have a table discussion about the change that we're about to go through. So join us at 2 for a fantastic open mic with Robert and Brett, should their schedules allow. I've got my confirmation from Robert. He will be there, Brett.
I'm there.
Brett is there. So join us at 2 p.m. for a great open mic. An opportunity for you to verbally say goodbye to Robert. Hopefully he's around when we all get back to campus as well. So I'm sure he'll be visiting with every single one of you where possible. But let's not miss this particular opportunity to say, to bid him farewell and congratulate Brett. So see you all at 2 o'clock. I'm really excited about it.
All right, bye everybody. Have a great rest of your morning. See you this afternoon. Bye.
Bye.